Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Virgo June 6, 2022. Today's moon can inspire a desire to balance your life in key areas, especially in your relationships. You find it natural to pay more emotional attention to your close relationships. You also find it easier than usual to put yourself in others' shoes. You're more emotionally invested in your connections, and you seek comfort or sustenance from a companion. Today and tomorrow are good for taking action on your ideas, and you're looking forward. Your confidence gets a nice boost now. Another influence with you is good for resolving a problem related to business or money through sheer determination and commitment. Don't be afraid to discuss your feelings today, even if that comes with a rebuttal. For instance, the moon continues to wander through Leo and your 7th house of agreements, compromise, and significant others, but it will harmonize with go-getter Mars via your communication sector. Single or taken, your emotions and passions are running high, but you already know that. Moreover, the Sun will begin to approach its exact sextile to Mars, while beaming through your romantic 5th house of love, passion, pleasure, and self-expression. Wearing your heart on your sleeve isn't necessarily your forte, but there's a first time for everything. Balancing everything may come easier than expected today. Being communicative and flexible with your work routine will be key to making the sextile between Venus in Aries and Mercury in Gemini work for you. As Venus and Mercury blend, it may be relatively easy to juggle whatever comes your way. Since Mercury is pulling your attention in a few different directions, you may find that everything works out when you lean into Venus's bold, if blunt, charm for help. Utilize this energy to communicate the direction of your workday. With all the planetary activity so far this year on the income side of the financial fence, the moon's return to your financial sector today will give money matters some much-needed attention over the coming days. This is the ordinary visit that the moon makes each month, and over the next few days will fuel your financial instincts and imagination while bringing a chance to become more emotionally and intuitively engaged. There is a world out there waiting to be discovered. Your increased dynamism will spur other people into joining in. Be flexible and spontaneous, maybe traveling to a new town or on a short journey. Rediscovering your own local area can also be very inspiring, and even more enjoyable in the company of others. You're feeling good about life, but that's not helping you make up your mind about the big issue that's staring you down. Stare back for a while, but don't worry about choosing for at least a few more days. You feel independent, open to fresh experiences. Don't be rushed too quickly into anything, even if you've a real opportunity to get to know someone new and interesting. Irrespective of whether you fall hopelessly in love or have a set plan, your love life is evolving in new ways. Try to make them the best. You can rest assured that your emotions will come out in close personal relationships under today's planetary alignment. It's likely you will be communicating a lot with people today. To feel more secure in what you say, be sure to eat well and stay away from processed sugar, which can increase your sense of urgency around emotional issues. Exercise is a wonderful way to gain perspective on tricky matters. Make some plans to get together with family today. There's a vibration happening, and this is sure to see you in the mood for this kind of interaction. If you have a day off, all the better. Perhaps a day trip to some place new would do you all a world of good. Even if you do have to work, there is always time in the evening to share things together. Quality time doesn't have to take all day. Just 11 days after retrograding back into Taurus, Mercury turns direct today, ending the second Mercury retrograde phase of 2022 and the only one that will have a direct impact on you. This has put the brakes on, but as Mercury turns direct and begins the 11-day trek back out again, it is with a lot more hindsight than you had when he first left during your birthday month. 5 days after Venus' return, heart and mind are back on the same page and looking to the future rather than the past. The moon is making its first visit to your communication sector since an eclipsing full moon in your relationship sector, and in the process forms a friendly aspect to the force that turned an ordinary full moon into a total lunar eclipse. This might be an ordinary monthly encounter, but this is not just a valuable chance to give anything exposed a voice, but is just a taste of things to come when it comes to communication on the relationship front. Our eyes in the sky. There's a lot going on, but everyone will be breathing that familiar collective universal sigh today as communications guru Mercury goes direct after spending the last few weeks in a frustrating retrograde cycle. And its pairing with the slow-paced, detail-driven bull should give you lots of time to get to work on correcting errors, fixing mistakes, and clearing up the general confusion that was caused by this latest chaotic Mercury retrograde cycle. Things on your lengthy to-do list for the day. 1. Go back over important emails, DMs, and texts you sent recently to make sure they were coherent and expressed what you wanted them to. Make adjustments and send new communications if necessary. 2. Double-check all details and, if necessary, rebook flights, hotel and/or rental car for a vacation that got cancelled or delayed. 3. Fix any tech-related items that malfunctioned or broke. 4. Go over financial statements looking for errors. Keeping good track of your money matters more now than ever. On the other hand, if you plan to establish yourself in a clear and well-defined relationship, now is the time or never. The sky boosts your enthusiasm and your joie de vivre by stimulating your desires and projecting you into the future. However, do not hesitate to withdraw from the game to preserve your energy capital and face a fairly exhausting end to the day. In the pre-dawn hours, the Leo moon squares off with Venus in Taurus, making us self-indulgent. This transit can provoke difficulties within our relationships because we are thinking only of ourselves and not of our partners or friends. This may be due to overconfidence, as we may be assuming that others' needs parallel our own. Or, paradoxically, it might be due to a lack of confidence, as our unmet desire for affection stimulates insecurities. At its worst, this influence causes us to think of others as our property. When we feel entitled, we make inappropriate demands of those we care for. After noon, the Gemini sun forms a square with Juno in Pisces, complicating contractual relationships. Ego conflicts will be more apparent under this influence. However, because this connection is occurring in mutable signs, more subtle manipulation tactics are likely to be at work. Juno in Pisces means commitment without boundaries. In our bonded relationships, we now believe we are functioning as a unit, and what's good for one person must be good for the other. Our sense of compassion is also boosted, causing us to overlook red flags in the name of devotion. However, the Gemini sun encourages us to look at our unions from various perspectives, to break through deception and collect new evidence regarding our engagements. Even if this aspect does not trigger fights or disputes, an internal storm is brewing, as we consider how we may be relinquishing our individuality through spiritual or emotional bypassing.